Welcome back to another edition of the Creator Spotlight. Here today, I'm speaking with Lauren Mundell of Hi Curious, which is a platform that connects brands to the right influencers. Welcome, Lauren.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So your journey started in corporate PR, and then obviously you moved over to become an entrepreneur. What was the significant or the inspiration behind that career shift?
The change, you mean? Like, why did I
Yeah.
decide to leave corporate for
Yes.
cannabis? Okay. I started using cannabis in, I guess it was late 2016. So Trump had just been elected president, and I was not psyched about that. Uh, Having grown up in New York and
Mhm.
knowing what was coming. And my husband was retiring from the Navy Reserves at that time. And so he was like, I can't wait to smoke weed. I can finally smoke weed again. You know, he had remembered it from when he was 18, 19, growing up in San Diego. And so he was like, I'm definitely going to smoke weed. I was like, I'm not. Like, we're not. Like, this is not happening. And then when he got some and he started using some, I was like, oh my gosh, he seems so happy. And we have these great conversations. And, he's very like, he's just chiller. And I was like, whatever this is, it's not like what I thought cannabis was because I had a bad experience in college. So I started using it and I got like a vape pen, little oil pens. And um, I took one on a vacation and I was using it and I realized, wait a second, this is a wellness supplement. And as a wellness marketer, so my job was working for two large agencies over like 12 years. And then some of the biggest client like brands in the world. So like Pfizer, consumer healthcare. So I was like Advil, Emergency, Centrum, and then I worked on Weight Watcher. We had the Weight Watchers business. We had, so basically we were just working on wellness brands, right? Trying to bring, talk about wellness. And I'm like, wait, this is a wellness supplement. Why isn't anyone talking about it like that? And once that happened, it started triggering in me a desire to get into the cannabis industry and to learn more about this because it was something that was new. And I was so excited at that stage of my career to step into something that was new. And so I didn't, the path to becoming an entrepreneur wasn't like, let me quit my job and become an entrepreneur. It was like a lot of things. And here I am.
You have obviously a background in the wellness space in general within the CPG world. How did that experience influence your approach to normalizing cannabis, and how's that shaped your approach?
Well, I think because I came to cannabis as like a full grown ass adult, I wasn't like I didn't have the stigma that a lot of people had about it,
Mhm.
where they felt like, because they've had their parents like, judging them for it or, all the stigma around it. And I was like, well, this is becoming legal. I trust myself. I've tried a million supplements, so I know what makes me feel good and what doesn't make me feel good. So I really trusted myself that, wow, this is a wellness supplement. And I was like, this is the beginning of something and I want to be a part of it. And it's like, a pioneering time. And I was like, definitely having a midlife crisis. So it was a perfect time to shift into something a little scary, I guess. But so what do I bring to it? I mean, what do I think about the wellness stuff? It's just for me, I bring um a different way of thinking about marketing and advertising, which is and should be extremely fresh and refreshing to the cannabis industry, considering how many restrictions we have about advertising and promotion. And my way of doing it is through third party endorsement, which is literally what public relations is from the jump, right? So, third party endorsement in, when you hire a celebrity to go on the Today Show to talk about your product or to go, those are the third party endorsements, right? And now in 2024, we don't have to use celebrities. We have people, individuals who many people follow and trust for advice and recommendations. And so I took what I learned from like PR and have applied it into influencer marketing, um, which is really a relationships business. And yeah, and so I think that's what makes, I guess, me different on what I bring to the space.
So speaking of stigma and restrictions that you just mentioned, what are some common misconceptions around cannabis specifically that you encounter with your marketing and just in general in your day-to-day life?
Um, well, it's been a real interesting journey. I mean, I started using cannabis when I was 43. And I was that was 8 years ago. And you know, uh I've seen a different side of it, I guess, because I'm an adult and I don't fear sharing it. I've been very open since day one about it, which was shocking to a lot of people, including my father. And so that was like the parent stuff is still going to be something no matter how old you are and whatever, or could be something. Also, parenting is a very interesting topic as it relates to cannabis. So, I have a 19-year-old and a 23-year-old. I smoked the first time with my son, Ethan, my older son, when he was 17 or 16. And then my older son when he was actually 18. Because I mean, my younger son when he was 18, because he was like, cannabis isn't cool because mom does it. But then it turned out that all of his friends thought mom was really cool. So I think that and then there was, of course, the like stigma of all the kids come over to my house and use cannabis here. Kids saying, I'm saying 18 plus, but and so I have, I had to worry about what are those parents going to think? When we moved to Colorado, I decided to have, just like you would have an alcohol bar with decanters and things on it at your home, I would have a cannabis bar. And I would be like thinking when my son was 14, 15, like, what's it going to be like when friends come over? But it's like, we live in a legal state. And I felt like I'm about breaking the stigma. So that's what I'm going to do.
So you mentioned parenting and your parents and everything like that. As anyone that follows Hi Curious on Instagram probably knows, you have a couple viral posts specifically around being a parent and the story you just shared with your both of your children. Walk me through that. What was the process like? Not the process, but more so, what was the experience like of having both of those videos go viral? And obviously, there's probably a lot of hate in the comments and things like that. So walk me through that process.
Well, I see Instagram and all social media as a game.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book. It's called High Curious, HIGH Curious. And you can buy it on Amazon. And I have all the stories about my parenting and my parents in that book already. So it's like I literally wrote the book on it. And so if I share it on Instagram, it's like, I don't care. I have a book about it, So I already got over um the potential trauma of putting my real self out into the world. And so I made the first one was, I think it was, I let kids smoke at my house. Like I let my
Mm-hmm.
son's friends use cannabis at my house. And that was the first one. And that one got like 1.5. And then right after that, I was like, I feel bold. And so that's when I put like, my son got kicked out of high school for taking a vape pen on a field trip. And that one has 7.5 million views. And a lot of hate. It was the first time that anyone ever called me a bad mom, like to my face. And like, but I'm sure plenty of people had thought that before. And so I guess it was really just for me, it was just, I know myself. I know I'm a great mom. I have a great relationship with my kids. Very present parent now that I use cannabis. The past 4 years, I've been a much better and different parent than I ever was prior to using the plant because I'm more patient and just more authentic and more open. And so I just, yeah, my um for me it's a plant that, um that has changed everything for the better in my life, so
Absolutely. It's interesting that you got so much hate on those videos because I knew plenty of kids growing up, myself included, that drank with their parents, whether that be,
I
just at special occasions, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or just the parents knew they were going to do it because they were in college or whatever, and they were under 21, but they would prefer them do it in the safety of their own home versus out in a field somewhere. It'd be interesting to see the group of people hating on that maybe they did the same thing growing up as well.
Yeah, and usually, so I've had a lot more posts since then that, get a lot of hate, no matter what. And it's just like they're just trolls. They don't, I mean, I'm not saying they're just trolls. They're real people and they have their own opinions, but it's just like the same as when you disagree with someone about politics. It's like they're not right and you're not right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and I actually think it's fun. I love to like kind of poke the trolls because that's just what they want. And so and then when the trolls come, like for social media people, when the trolls come, you're going to go viral. Like
Yes.
unless you have trolls, unless you have hate on there, it's never going to go viral. You're just going to reach your people. And if you want to reach out. And so that's why like sometimes, yeah, I put like things that are a little bit um unexpected or I don't know, sound aggressive. And unfortunately, that's what the algorithm wants.
Absolutely.
And, so it's like I said, it's a game. And if I was like, I'm not seeking validation from the internet, you know, um, I don't need to tell them. And the people will be like, this is a weird flex. And I'm like, it's not a flex. Like,
You think of social media as a game, and obviously influencer marketing plays a big role into social media, and how we all see and view different brands and things like that. So how do you see influencer marketing evolving specifically within the cannabis industry? And then, ultimately, how do you envision High Curious, playing a part in that evolution?
So finally, the cannabis industry is starting to catch on that influencer marketing is an integral part of marketing. And,
Mm-hmm.
it would be, it would be, I wouldn't be here if the mainstream wasn't already using influencer marketing every single minute of every day to promote their products. And that now there's, entire internally at big companies, there's entire influencer marketing teams. And so it's been shocking to me, frankly, over the course of the past 4 years, how hard it has been to explain to cannabis companies why they need influencer marketing and why they need to spend on it. And it's been really hard to explain that because I don't think they pay attention to other brands, but like, doesn't everyone have a parasocial relationship with at least one influencer, podcaster, whatever that you feel like everyone has that. And so
Mm-hmm.
like I think the as the next year plays out and hopefully we'll get rescheduled and then 280E will go away. Hopefully um influencer marketing will be something that brands start to invest in serious ways because the this is it's the basis of advertising now, influencer marketing. I mean, if you're on social media on any of the platforms, you'll see UGC, user generated content, or influencer content being made into advertising. And so, a brand can pay an influencer and then can pay for rights to the content for a certain amount of time. And then they can go advertise with that. They can use that as their own content. That is like way less expensive than paying, for a production of an ad and all that kind of stuff. And also way more effective because people don't want to hear from a brand about how great their products are. They want to hear from someone that they trust about the things that they incorporate into their lives. And so I think as in the next few years, hopefully more brands will be coming to High Curious to match with the right influencers. We have an entire roster of influencers that you can search through on our platform at high-curious.com. And also we have agency services where we will actually go out, find the people, contract them for you, and work with you directly. And we do that for a number of bigger clients right now.
Kind of mentioned a few different things there, but what exciting projects or initiatives are you currently working on that, my readers and or the watchers of this show should know about?
So I'm co-hosting two really awesome moms pool parties for Canna Moms. One is next weekend, the 17th in Phoenix, and I'm co-hosting that with Lindsay Coram, she's at Canna Moms, CANNABOMBZ. And we have about 50 women coming over the course of the weekend to a really cool Airbnb in Phoenix. We have some really amazing sponsors, some awesome raffles, and really it's just a bunch of, it's just the chance for women to get together, women who use cannabis to get together and use it without stigma and enjoy each other's company. And then we're doing another one in Florida in September with the Pot Smoking Moms. The Pot Smoking Moms are a great duo out of Miami, and High Curious is actually a sponsor of this as well. And we're going to be hosting about 20 women at an Airbnb in Fort Lauderdale, and so that's really fun. I've my TrimsGiving coming up in November. So I have a big grow outside of my backyard, and last year was the first annual TrimsGiving where I had about 20 people from the Colorado cannabis industry come over and trim my flower. So it's like some of the biggest wigs, in the industry, but they're out there with the scissors. And it's kind of like a Friendsgiving, and that's coming up on November 9th. So yeah, we just are, doing a lot of fun projects and working with great clients. And starting to actually feel the energy of the upswing in a business.
I love that. I love that. So, lastly, we'll leave with this. How can my readers and subscribers connect with you, and what's the best way for them to support you?
Yeah, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Lauren Mundell, or on on Instagram at high.curious. My email is lauren@high-curious.com. You can go to our website at high-curious.com, and it's HI, like high-curious.com. And that's a great place to learn more about the business. And you can also schedule a call with me there. And so how can you support me? You can support me by following me. You can support me by sharing my content. You can support me by commenting on my content and being a part of my community on across different all the different platforms. I also do have a YouTube, and it's really small, so please subscribe. And then you can also, one of the honestly, like the best way you can support influencers is telling them that the work that they're doing is reaching you. And I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn, especially because I talk a lot on LinkedIn about women in cannabis, and I get a lot of people reaching out to me to thank me for my activism. And honestly, and I had somebody come up to me at an event last week, and he was like, "I've been following you for 2 years, and I love your Instagram content." And I remember and he was like talking about a specific piece of content, and that made me feel so good. Like this pure person who's never met me before. I've never even DM'd with this person, and they are like, yeah, I've been following you for 2 years and I like watch you regularly. And you're just like, wow, okay, so it's working. And so, like, yeah, that's the best way to support an influencer is by telling them that you like their content.
Absolutely. I've gotten a couple DMs recently from people I didn't even know subscribed or like followed me on LinkedIn, and yeah, those are definitely the best
Yeah,
notes. Whether you subscribe or not, engage on the social content. Just the heartfelt notes are definitely the best.
because because we're out here putting ourselves out there and how it's received is you know, we don't know, right? You just put it
Exactly.
out there. You don't know how it's going to be received. To know that like you're being well received is just like a great feeling, you know.
Absolutely. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
I,
you.
I look forward to continuing the conversation across multiple platforms. And
Likewise.
until next time.